I almost cannot believe I'm saying that the biggest fight of the weekend is Tyron Woodley and Jake Paul. What do you make
Yep.
of the fight game? What do you make of the way that Jake Paul has truly manipulated, has truly worked and created a space for himself where he makes money like this? But now this is the first time, the Ben Askrens and the Nate Washingtons, these aren't guys who could really put him to sleep. He's going to be in the ring now with someone with skill, with someone with power. How do you see this weekend playing out?
I got to tell you, RC, I'm excited. I've watched it. I watched him fight Ben Askren, partly because Ben was a teammate of mine and I wanted to see what would happen. But I watched him fight Nate Robinson too. I watched him fight Nate
Robinson. I'm sorry, I said Washington, yeah.
Yeah, I watched him fight Nate because it's funny and we all tune in. That's why, Ryan, when they're doing this stupid challenge on TikTok right now where people are trying to walk across crates. Big, fat people walking across crates, and they just fall down every time. We watch train wrecks. We constantly watch train wrecks because you can't turn away from it. So I watch Jake Paul every single time he fights. But here's the thing. It's time for people to start taking Jake Paul seriously. I know that him and I had our run-ins and everything, and I'll never be okay with the kid. That's not my cup of tea. But the reality is you got to take this kid serious because when you're fighting guys like Ben, who's an amateur boxer, like Nate Robinson, who's an amateur boxer, those guys are amateurs and true amateurs. Jake Paul is a rich person that is fighting amateurs but getting trained by the absolute best trainers in the world. His skills are developing at a rate that is unmatched by these young guys. Now, Tyron Woodley, on the other hand, he's got a real boxing coach. He's got money. He's got skills and ability, and he's got a championship pedigree that will make him the first true challenge that Jake Paul has seen inside the ring. But guys, it's time to stop allowing this kid to trick you. He is not just a YouTube kid anymore. He's not just a Disney kid. He's a fighter because he's prepping to fight full time. But he's going to have his hands full this weekend because T. Wood is no joke. T. Wood is nasty. T. Wood is powerful. He's tough, and he has got a killer right hand that if he lands, he's going to knock Jake Paul out.
DC, this is my question. Obviously, when we looked at Ben Askren, I know you mentioned, and everybody knows now that that's a teammate of yours. And we've seen Ben inside the octagon. We actually saw him dominate for a very long time until he had to, he met Street Jesus, as some people has called him, and it was the quick flying knee. But is Tyron Woodley representing the UFC? Is he representing MMA? Is this a guy that once Jake Paul fights him, we're really going to have an opportunity to look at Jake Paul and say, you know what, we should respect him? Or Jake Paul is on his way to being a legitimate fighter, but now he's fighting against a dude who people don't respect. He's fighting a dude who people feel like doesn't deserve the opportunity to be inside the ring with someone like him. If Jake Paul beats Tyron Woodley, what does that mean for Tyron Woodley? What does that mean for the sport of MMA? And ultimately, what does it mean for Jake Paul?
I got to be honest with you. He's absolutely representing mixed martial arts. Every single time Jake Paul is in the ring with a fighter or a former fighter, whether they want it or not, they are carrying the entire sport of mixed martial arts on their shoulders. Because the vast majority of people, not just mixed martial arts fans, people hope that you beat Jake Paul and put him back in his place. But the reality is the mixed martial arts fans, the masses, the people that have watched your entire career, the people that have seen you sleep Robbie Lawler, sleep Koss, sleep Jay Heron, sleep all those guys that you've slept over the course of your career. They are hoping that you go and do the same thing against this kid that honestly is just a disruptor. He disrupts everything, right? He goes to the fights and he has the crowd yelling expletives at him, and he loves it. He's just basking in it. He's the guy that goes and annoys me to the point that I walk up to him. He goes places to agitate people. So every time he gets to beat a mixed martial artist, now especially one that has worn a title, it's going to allow for him to take his character to the next level. But again, It is a character. Make no mistake about it. But this kid is truly learning to fight. So if you're going to go in there with Jake Paul, you better be completely serious because the dude's trying to win. And Tyron Woodley, I feel, is as locked in, or as you say, RC, he has tapped in. Dude's tapped in to boxing, and he's as prepared as he's ever been for a long time for this fight this weekend. It's going to be great. I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm absolutely locked in, and I'm locked in for many of the reasons you mentioned, but most of all, I want to see what's real. I want to see if Tyron Woodley is approaching this in a way where he's like, you know what? I understand what's on the line for me, and I want to make sure, or I want to see that Jake Paul knows and understands that his life could be on the line stepping in the ring with someone like Tyron Woodley.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.